Broken home. Why my home be broken? No two parents, no upper middle. I don't fit your class. Well, you can kiss that grass that I don't smoke. Your mind is full of dope. I be smoking the great hope. My paper is that of the Pope. Why my home be broken? When I see so many families that seem broken to me. Guns, lack of respect, no mic check, just postal, over the top. Pain like so much, kill so easy. Where's your mommy? Where's your daddy? You got both, yet you kill like your pain is realer. Yet my home is broken, and I've yet to commit such acts. No blood here. No thought of fixing my broken self on others, them, passerbys, people that got people, so if their life is lost, their people cry. I need nobody crying for my pain, but me.
Welcome to the Smokin' Rhyme Show.
What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an x-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Listen to the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is Rex Fortyfive.
Big E.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
Music and that cannabis talk.
What's going on, Mr. Big E?
Yeah, well, you know, holidays is behind us. The independence of white people.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, actually, it's the independence of the nation.
Of the nation.
Yes,
which
of the nation.
Majority of people are white.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, it all went out without a hitch except for a couple of shootings and mass killings and, you know, the usual.
Chicago's acting up.
Chicago and multiple of other places.
And some young white folks acting up.
We also seen recently the attack in the little restaurant in New York because they didn't have no sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on.
All right.
How was your weekend, my brother?
I did yard work this weekend, my brother. So my weekend was full of, testing my will.
Was you splitting wood and building log houses?
Yeah, well, I had several trees that I had to dispose of, and so those
vegan murderer.
Yeah, that was my week of last week. But I feel good about that. Ignore the tapping in the background.
It's the fans at the door trying to get in.
That's not SOS. Nobody's asking for help. But we do have some construction going on in the building, as they say. So that was my weekend. And just getting stuff done. I don't like it.
Yeah, I worked so.
So I wish I was racing actually, because that was happening. But unfortunately, it's not necessarily unfortunate. It's unfortunate that I'm not racing, but I've elected not to cut my season a little shorter, which is very painful. But nonetheless.
Sign of the times, brother.
Sign of the times. Can't be in several places at once. Not yet. Not yet.
Well, you could be, but it'd be inexpensive.
Right? Yeah. I gotta have a pilot and a private PJ waiting.
Too bad Kobe's pilot's not available. Never mind. That was in poor taste. Definitely.
Listen, Dave Chappelle. Well, we don't want the goons to come after you, Big E.
Hey, look. Let's not cancel me, please.
You listen to the smoker. How was your weekend? I know you said you worked. Did you say more than that? Sorry, I was.
I went to work, got off work, went back to work. Then on my days off, I worked. So yeah, basically.
Big E.
Well, I have to say my 4th of July weekend was pretty good.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
All right.
Spent a lot of time with fam, ate food.
Okay.
Drunk Top Shelf. Shouts out to DJ Nice. Hooked us up. You know what I'm saying? All Top Shelf.
All right. So you're having a little bit of fun in between the working.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, 'cause you need that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is after the holiday, so this is everybody's back to normal now. So now I'm working, but the holiday was lovely. I took it easy, relaxed. Tried some $1,000 Don Julio.
All right.
It was pretty good.
All right. Hey, listen, man. I want to hear more of that because how should I? We'll save it. You listen to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
Big E.
Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
The Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
Big E.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
Music in that cannabis talk.
The idea, huh?
There was some powerful music behind that.
Nothing more powerful.
Yeah, like that piano.
All right, no doubt. I don't know where else you can get this stuff, Big E.
Yeah, well, that's the first time I heard it.
I try to toot my horn too much, or the Smokin Rhyme Show.
Trying to only toot it 2-3 times.
Yeah, at least. But you gotta
self-promote.
Exactly that too. But you also gotta believe in yourself. But you don't necessarily have to exercise those demons so other people can see it. You do it just to keep yourself going.
And hey, if you can't believe in you, believe in me.
We don't need people to believe in us. We believe in us. Once you believe in yourself, that's all you need.
Basically.
Pretty much.
I don't think I'm confused to why you would have to explain that to somebody. I would think that would be a given, but.
Nah, not necessarily, man. Sometimes some people don't believe in themselves.
I don't trust myself.
Most times. It's hard. Listen, when I was young, there's a lot of times I didn't believe in myself. And I talked myself out of a lot of things. But after a certain age, I can't say it's because of age, but at a certain point in my life, I realized that's what I had to do is believe in myself. And once I started doing that, man, I got no complaints in life, really. The complaints I have, nobody can change, so,
Yeah, well, most of my aspirations growing up were doing things that my friends did. I really didn't have like a dream, like I wanted to be this or that. So.
Gotcha. Well, I still hope for you, Big E.
Yeah, well,
Speaking of hope, how's the working out going?
You're trying to be funny right away. Huh?
You know what I mean? We got to talk about entertainment, too, because there's some movies out. But, you got to get to the movie theater. So how's it working out going?
Well, I've still been finishing up the holiday week.
Uh-huh.
So, first thing tomorrow? No, I mean, I'm starting small, so I'm doing some things at the house. But I haven't done anything major.
Right, so what you're saying is you're going to show up for the game, but you ain't practice.
Practice? Practice? The immortal words of Allen Iverson. And you know what? I punked out on playing ball on Saturday, too.
Mm-hmm.
The knee just was like, no, brother,
okay, huh?
no.
Sometimes you got to listen to the body parts.
Man.
Not sometimes, all the time.
Look, if I can get a couple of them NBA injections in these knees, I'll go right out there right now.
You got to go overseas for that, so I hear.
Yeah, well.
I'm saying go to Germany.
I hear the side effect of fixing one knee is you blow the other one out.
Well, yeah, because one knee comes back like the $1 Million Man, and the other one.
Yeah, uneven. It's like replacing one shock absorber.
So you got to do both. Listen, give me the upgrade, double upgrade.
Shocks and springs.
Yep, no doubt. The coilovers don't play.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to get it together, man, at this point in time, Summer's just starting. I'm trying to get my son into his routine.
Uh-huh.
So, it's kind of hard at this point. But
Got you.
give me some time. I'm on the job.
You know, if you're on if you're on Twitch, there's so many platforms. If you're on Twitch, you'd see right now I'm rubbing two fingers together because it sounds like, you know, you're playing the world's smallest violin right now, my man.
Man, look, I got off work at 3. I took my son to practice at 4. We went from practice from 4 to 8. I took him home, fed him 9:30. I got dressed and went back to work.
When he was practicing, why you weren't like in the next field over shadowing what he was doing?
Nah, I had things to do. There was some beverages that were leftovers that I had to
I see.
finish
Right. So
off.
you're doing it. You're a different kind of shadowing.
I was still closing out the holiday weekend, all right?
Week.
Well, I'm saying Monday was the holiday. So Sunday was
Which
the
Monday?
Monday was 4th of July.
Which Monday? You know today's date is Big E.
Exactly. But we're talking about this weekend. So, you know, Sunday was the last official day
I see.
of the holiday week.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
so-
I see. You said a week now, so I'll buy into that.
Yeah, it was the
Alright.
holiday week.
All
So,
right, got you. So you had to finish up what was in the stash.
yeah, and the only thing preventing me was some glitches in the matrix
Right.
and work and
So-
some alcohol. And
So you're
things.
like, I could have done like 10 laps around this park while my son is working out.
No, I couldn't have done that.
Or you
'cause I
did
had
10
to-
laps circling the ice cooler.
Well, I couldn't do that because I just came off a double and I was tired.
I see.
And then I had to go back to work. So had I ran and not went to sleep at all, I might have crashed my car on the way to work and died.
That's really?
So
All right, okay. All right.
I opted not to use what was left in the tank for exercise.
I see. For rest and recovery.
Definitely.
and finishing what's in the cooler.
I did that already, so
Oh, okay.
you know, it was just part of the finishing out strong.
Got you.
I finish everything I start.
So I'll leave it at that. Tom Cruise's Top Gun is apparently is the best movie of the year so far.
Yeah, well, you know, the movie market is still coming back. So, you know, that is a high energy movie. Most anticipated, was it 15, 18 years in between?
It broke a lot of records. But I will say the people behind the movies and the entertainment are treating us like we're crack addicts, and they're giving us the bad crack first. Because there's a lot of bad movies out there that they would have never released pre-pandemic.
Well, I mean, there were restrictions, so I'm pretty sure they just was like, what we got left over.
just let it roll, huh?
Whatever was in the vault, they was like, well, I mean, we never thought we would need this, but we ain't got nothing else.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe they don't have anything else, or maybe they're just giving us the bad stuff first.
Hey, well, I mean, a lot of movies came out. You got the new Jurassic Park coming out. You got
It's already out.
yeah, you got all these movies out. So,
All right.
I mean, at least you have a choice. It's getting back to the old days when there used to be 2 or 3 good movies and not just one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hey,
All right.
sounds like a plan for me.
Sound like a plan. Listen to the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is Rex 45.
Big E,
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
music and that cannabis talk.
Hot 87 gave me a reason to smoke rhymes. Come dope like I snort lines. Listen on the West Coast at 8. Then you straight Midwest, the show starts at 9. 10 in Eastern time for ill hip hop and spoken word on beats. Hot 87 FM, the hottest spoken word on the streets. How I know I watch it, got my music played last week. Didn't know that it really occurred that deep. Weed podcast with Rex 45 Big E. Got me stretching lime inside brown whiteout sheets. Got me dirty kicking rhymes like soccer cleats. I trained for this, plus I got the proper sleep. For every Monday to tune in the boss's airway. Whack MCs, a boxing karate chop your airways. I'm lethal, and there's poison in my pen. Wanna hear more of me? Then change the frequency on your radio and tune in. Cause to miss a show like this is a goddamn sin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pod Cafe. Roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke. Break the Spanish down in my rollie and I'm scrolling it up. We put the whole 7 in it, you ain't holding it up. Hitting 12 in the lane while we sparking it up. Rexy 45 and Big E, that's who the city show love. But the city been waiting. We been cooking and baking, planning, putting that cake in, plotting, moving and shaking. LeBron, Steph Curry with the rock, shake the pot. There's some big boss cannabis talk, cultural elevation. Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. It's 420 in this world somewhere. Outside, say rolling it up. Up north, stay rolling it up. What's up? Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. If you feeling me, put one in me. West side, stay rolling it up. East coast, stay rolling it up. What's up? Bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. You know what it is, podcast tape time.
Mm-hmm.
Roll one if you got one, smoke one if you want to, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Definitely not. So, this is high on the level of cannabis news, of course.
Right.
The whole Brittany Griner saga, as it would be called.
It is.
So, you know, she's currently locked up in Russia for the possession of a vape cartridges.
Vape cartridges could face up to, you were saying, 10 years?
Yeah, she, well, the White House released a statement saying that.
Can it just be the House? We not call it the White House anymore, just call it the House.
Hey, look, the administration is maintaining that WNBA star Brittany Griner was wrongfully detained in Russia, despite the fact that she pled guilty. So I don't understand how that's wrongfully detained.
No, listen.
Okay, for cannabis vape.
All right, listen, people. I ain't gonna say this too much. I might not even repeat this again, Big E. But if you're a cannabis smoker and you travel to a country with cannabis, and that country has very strict rules about cannabis, and sometimes they may follow those rules and sometimes they may not. But Russia's the type of place that if you're trying to go or thinking about going or have been going, you might be traveling with cannabis vape pens a lot, but you could get detained at some point. So I don't think it's shocking that this happened. I mean, I think just because there's a war going on with Ukraine, I think that's more or less why it happened, more or less. I think that's what it is. But if you're a person that travels with cannabis and you get detained, you can't be shocked.
Keister it. It's the only way.
It's the only way.
No, I mean,
and you know,
it's a weird situation.
We may have broken a lot of laws in our time, Big E.
Definitely. I'm not no fool, though. I know when to push and not to push. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, it's Russia.
Right.
I've never heard a positive story about anything that had to do with the police
and cannabis.
Anything over there.
Or cocaine.
So why?
Or even just be in a hotel room.
The fact that
that's Donald Trump.
The fact that Russia was engaged in a conflict at the time, and you're trying to do business in their country.
Right.
It's all money. It was all money motivated to me. I'm just stating the facts here.
I'm with you.
So, you know, I'm not even certain why they are saying that she was wrongfully detained. It's their laws.
Right.
If they got against it, you had it, and then you said, yes, that's mine. I'm guilty. I mean, we're gonna at this point let it play through.
Right. And don't get me wrong. She's been there. I think she was playing for several years. I think 5. 5 comes to mind. I don't know why, but definitely it wasn't her first trip there.
Definitely.
And
the story is she accidentally left them in her bag from her last trip.
Right.
Okay.
Which I don't buy too much. This thing called technology is failing me here. So I do feel bad for anybody who is in jail. Period. Right. I mean, for whatever charges. But definitely when it's just like cannabis and it's just vaping. And honestly, I don't know what around the world is, but I feel like I've been around the world with cannabis in some form or shape or whatever. And you know, I haven't gone to a place that's crazy like that, or even there's more extreme places for sure. But at the same time, you know, no matter if you go to somewhere 1,000 times and it's not legal, it's possible that, you know, one day they may get you.
Yes, and you heard this straight from Big E. Everywhere I travel, I bring a starter kit. You know, while you're seeking out or finding out what the rules and regulations are, I'd rather be smoking while I'm doing so. but I usually bring a starter kit,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what the consequences are. And if I plead guilty, there's no way a friend of mine's going, man, he's wrongfully detained. No,
Yeah.
everybody's laws ain't your laws. Everybody's rules ain't your rules. So,
You got
go see all those people in Dubai
Ladies and gentlemen.
that are locked up for no reason.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say no reason. They have the laws, but
Right. No, it is. It is what it is. It's like
one would argue the strictness of their laws,
right.
but still.
Right. Yeah. We can argue like should this be we can argue that for sure all day long, and like I said, it at the end of the day, they just want to have. I think the Russians just want to have something on the U.S. at the end of the day.
Well, I feel
And it sucks that she may be the scapegoat for that.
I feel in normal circumstances, they still would have gave her problems, but it would have been something she could
Oh
just
no,
pay
they
her way out of.
already knew she was bringing it in. I don't think there's anything that goes into Russia that the Russians don't know. I honestly, it's I mean, there's a lot of country where the UK, you're on a camera like hundreds of times in the UK. Definitely the US got some issues, but there are a lot of stricter places out there than the US.
I did tell you my UK story, right?
Which one? I mean, you might as well have
We went to,
a birth certificate from there by now.
we went to pick up some particulars.
Sure.
So we pulled up behind this gentleman in his car.
Uh-huh.
Then the police pulled up behind us.
Uh-huh.
So I got nervous, and they were like, what you nervous about? I said, the police. They was like, just relax. Cop walked by me. He bought his particulars, got back in his car, left, and then we bought ours. So, I mean, every experience in every place is different. What you might be nervous about, other people be like, what you nervous about? But in other countries, you might pull something on, and they'll be like, yo, we're all going to die.
Okay.
So I would suggest you don't smoke in places. Look at the rules first.
Yeah.
That's what we try to tell y'all.
Yep. Look at
That's
the rules first.
That's what the Pot Cafe's here for. We try to heighten your senses
Right.
when you
So,
leave in town.
and I've heard a lot of people come. I am starting to have a nagging suspicion that people will use like her and other people to make themselves more known, because at the end of the day, on the merits, it is what it is. It sucks because it's to us it's silly on Smoking Rhymes. Like, to be in jail for marijuana is like being in jail because you got your ears pierced, which is against the law in Massachusetts, by the way, on the books. But it is, if somebody was to say, I got locked up for getting my ears pierced, that's like that with marijuana. And I don't care if you have 1 gram or a quadrillion. It doesn't matter how many grams you have, because at the end of the day, it's like banana growers ain't in jail. You know what I'm saying? Tomato growers ain't in jail. Like, there's a lot of information about cannabis.
Well, that's part of the discussion, because now at this point, how can you be telling another country that they're wrongfully arresting someone when your federal law it's against your federal law as well?
Correct. You're absolutely right, Big E. You're
So
absolutely right.
He's gonna have to make
that-
changes on their own.
Yes.
part.
Yeah. You know what? We should have led with that. Seriously, it's like, how you gonna call out on them? We don't have it federally illegal, so how are we gonna sit here and sit here and say if it was LeBron James, more people would be doing this and doing that and all that and
All the nonsense.
all the nonsense. Listen, like that poem, "Broken Homes." I heard that because I wrote that because people talk about single family homes as if it's broken, as if there's not people running around here with 2 parents and the home is broken, and you can't sit here and look in America and sit here and not think there are things in America that are broken that should be fixed, and then turn around and go point fingers to other people as if to say, well, we're not as bad as you, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. Don't be bad. It's not okay. Don't be bad.
And the problem is that people think that other countries aren't watching. There's plenty of YouTube and everything online where you could see other people bring it up.
Yeah.
The fact that they killed the amount of police that are killed, to the amount of young black men that are killed, to the mass shootings, it just goes on and on. And there's got to be a solution at some point.
No doubt, Big E.
I think that solution is Legalize it.
Legalize it indeed. No,
Worldwide.
it should be a global one love, one federation, one ganja. Well, many strains, but one ganja plan.
I'm telling you.
No, but no, seriously, I feel bad for her. I feel that bad that this is happening, and it goes to a bigger issue because it's not about her. It's really about, politicians and leaders that claim to be the Putin likes and all, anyone that's a leader that's not actually helping the people that they're supposed to be leading. Any one of them, you know what I'm saying? That's a problem. My name is Rex45.
Big E.
I was gonna say a lot worse things than that, but I'm just gonna leave it there. So we're gonna get back into it, man. We're having some sort of fun.
Good luck, Brittany.
How about that? You listen to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
Big E.
We're on my 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
Music and that cannabis talk.
For the folks watching online, they know what's going on.
My bad. I got caught outside.
How about that?
Right.
I like that poem. That girl's rich now, though,
Yeah. Well, you got enough exposure. It's up to you to do with that fame what you can to make money from it.
She buying $6 million homes and all that. I don't quote me on the exact number, but she rich.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Hood
sure
rich.
she's getting
She
those,
outside rich.
She's getting those Instagram and YouTube payments and all that influencer crap.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get me some of that money.
Yeah, but how about that?
Yeah, outside.
It's the Smokin Rhyme Show. Trying to get into the motorcycle corner. We're a little bit behind, but I think we were jamming out to the music. Having a good old time. For those that are following Motor, do you follow Motor America, Big E?
I find lately I have time to not follow anything.
It's not like you're having fun.
Nah, not at all. But
for those people,
I plan to.
Some of our listeners are following Motor America. They were racing this weekend in Laguna Seca.
My favorite track.
Mine too, although I haven't raced there yet. So, from the video games, I think I'm gonna like it.
Yes.
And it is on my bucket list. And it's not a bucket list. It's just I'm gonna race there. God willing, I guess is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah. I need to hit Laguna Seca and the Nürburgring, and I'll be good.
Yeah, either track day or racing, one of the two. So they were racing out there this past weekend, and so I was just checking. See if you watch.
No, I didn't. But don't leave me hanging. I mean, somebody won, somebody lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't. You got to watch it. I'm not. I can call out names, but I think I did that with MotoGP, and what do you say? Whatever you say.
Yeah.
Jake Gagne though is for the superbike class, is running away with it. I believe it's Corey Alexander in the superstock class. He seems to be running with it. Although Petrucci,
superstar.
Did I lose you yet on the names?
That's my boy Bertucci's.
Yes, not Bertucci. Exactly. Check out Motor America. It's the highest motorcycle racing series in the U.S. that you can do.
And if you're like me, who can't turn the channel with anything that has to do with racing, period, car, boat, going downhill on a sled, cheese rolls, I don't care. Whatever it is, I love racing. So
no doubt.
I would definitely watch it if I came across it.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the motorcycle corner for this week.
Shout out to the sponsors.
Oh, thank you. Woodcraft.
You need your wood.
Hindle exhaust.
You need exhaust handle.
Vortex sprockets and some armor body plastics, healing hand massage. HY Boston, get your gear. Definitely shout out to all the sponsors because it's to make our lives easier.
Definitely. Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Can I get a haiku? Oh, we're not doing that. All right, my bad.
You got one for me?
Nah, I don't. I was asking for one, but it's okay.
You sure you ain't got one for me?
Yeah. Sure. Thanks.
Yeah. I think we'll get you to do one next show.
I still don't know what one is, but when I figure it out.
All right, it's
Me
just
too.
we'll get it sorted out. You listen to the Smokin Ripe Show. My name is Rex 25.
Big E.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
Music and that cannabis talk.
Let's get into it.
Hot 87 gave me a reason to smoke rhymes. Come dope like a snort lines. Listen on the West Coast at 8. Then you straight Midwest, the show starts at 9. 10 in Eastern time for ill hip hop and spoken word on beats. Hot 87 FM, the hottest spoken word on the streets. How I know I watch it, got my music played last week. Didn't know that it really occurred that deep. Weed podcast with Rex 45 Big E. Got me stretching lime inside brown whiteout sheets. Got me dirty kicking rhymes like soccer cleats. I trained for this, plus I got the proper sleep. For every Monday to tune in the boss's airway. Whack MCs, a box of karate chop your airways. I'm lethal, and there's poison in my pen. Wanna hear more of me? Then change the frequency on your radio and tune in. Cause to miss a show like this is a goddamn sin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Roll, light, smoke, pain. Roll, light, smoke, pain. Roll, light, smoke, pain. Roll, light, smoke. Break the spinners down in my rollie and I'm scrolling it up. We put the whole 7 in it, you ain't holding enough. Hitting 12 in the lane while we sparking it up. Rexy 45 and Big E, that's who the city show love. But the city been waiting, we been cooking and baking. Planning, putting that cake in, plotting, moving and shaking. LeBron, Steph Curry with the rock, shake the pot. There's some big boss cannabis talk, cultural elevation.
Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. It's 420 in this world somewhere. Outside, stay rolling it up. Up north, stay rolling it up. What's up? Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. If you feeling me, put one in me. West side, stay rolling it up. East coast, stay rolling it up. What's up?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what it is, Park Cafe, baby. Smoking what you got one.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have a brain-based method to determine the impairment for cannabis intoxication.
Word.
Yes, indeed. So now that when you get to a traffic stop and you want to blame it on something, now they're going to test you to see. Because I feel like cannabis is always used as a scapegoat, but really it's just
Scapegoat.
people's negligence.
Okay.
That's all I think it is.
All right. So what we're saying, we got a foolproof method that can test you if you're intoxicated under the THC.
Well, I would assume that it's to measure the level of intoxication. So they're going to make some kind of scale. But researchers at Mass General Hospital
Okay.
have found a non-invasive brain imaging procedure to be the objective and reliable way to identify individuals who have THC in their systems, you know, the psychoactive ingredient that is in cannabis. In this technique, they're going to use imaging technology known for functional and non-infrared systemoscopy.
Okay. Okay.
That big old word at the end right there. Yeah.
So in other words, what you're saying is it's possible in the near future, if you get pulled over by police, they can test you and see if you're under the influence.
Well, the process that they're talking about sounds complex, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have to call for a van if they're going to be doing.
Jolly, we got somebody, Jolly.
If they're going to be doing brain imaging and scanning, I don't know if you could make a handheld tool to do that.
I don't know if I'm allowing any more radiation than need to, just so I can prove to you that I'm not high.
They'll be like, yeah, his brain's fried, but he sure wasn't high. Well, I'm pretty sure.
I'll probably get stopped a lot.
I'm pretty sure once Elon Musk gets hair of it, he'll probably invent one that is solar rechargeable and can scan the whole body in less than 10 seconds. I don't know. It's new technology. You know, they've been scanning the brain for years, but I don't know. I don't know if they could, if that's one of those get out the car, touch your nose type of things.
Right.
I mean, you know.
And do they have proof that there's a high rate of people getting in trouble for being high?
Well, the problem is a lot of people making mistakes and using it as a scapegoat. Just like the clown who was distracted driving and crashed into a state trooper, and then he blamed it. Oh, it was the weed, man. No, it was whatever else you was doing in there at the time.
Just the mere fact that you're a clown, aren't you distractive?
Basically.
Driving and other things.
Yeah, exactly. You know, red boots, curly hair, red nose.
It's kind of in the name.
Yeah, but it's the point that someone had to lose their life, and now you're looking for ways to not do 1,000,000 years in jail. Man up. Yo, I was driving, I wasn't paying attention, I crashed into him. Don't try to say, oh, it was because I was excessively high is why I did it. No.
I don't think, but ignorance is no excuse of the law, so I don't think anyone's getting off for jail time or any time for that matter, or fines for that matter, to saying they were high. So outside of just looking soft.
Yeah, well, I still feel like that's the scapegoat. Why'd you do it? Oh, I was high. No, you did it because you're a jackass. That's why you did it.
Pretty much.
Right?
This is the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is Rex Fortyfive.
Big E.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry.
Music and that cannabis talk.
What else you got?
And now MLB teams, that's the baseball for those who don't know.
Swing, batter.
These teams can now be sponsored by CBD companies.
All right.
And this is what one basketball league official has said. And they're giving them they're reportedly giving them the opportunity to back these teams. Because, I mean, CBD is something different. It's supposed to be the most healing part, depending on who you speak to.
It is. But there's no real way to test it. So that's interesting. Anyway, yep.
So
Mass General's making test kits for the police.
Yeah, so they're going to have some products certified with the MLB stamp on it. And, you know, the promotion shall begin.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know in any industry, when there's money to be made, they're going to find a way to make the most out of it. So I wouldn't be surprised that after this decision was made that let that MLB do it, someone within the league has already obtained 2 million stocks of some company, because that's just the way it works.
Is that how it works, Big E?
Yeah, nobody does anything just because it needs to be done anymore.
So you're not even hypothetically saying that it's possible, that you know for sure that there's already somebody that's crooked.
I'm almost 99.99%.
No evidence whatsoever.
Not sure.
Not even a single straight ahead of it.
I'm absolutely not sure. But if we're going with conspiracy theories, I guarantee you they okayed it after the procuring of stocks. I can guarantee you. Somebody's getting rich from it, and it's inside the organization.
So we're going to mark the tapes. Within the next 2-3 years, somebody will be caught for doing what you've said.
Have you ever seen them do anything without doing the complete research? Like, oh, well, if we do this, there's millions to be made. Come on, man. All the contracts within government are held by the government's families. I mean, they're not just giving them out to anybody. You got one? I ain't got one.
Your family or government?
Contract.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
I'm just saying. Let that marinate in your mind.
Just doing something in my mind.
Pop one more gummy. We'll slide you in this machine and measure your brain waves. See how much THC you got in your system. Then we'll send you on your way.
Send you on your way.
And it could be used as evil, because they'll scan your brain and be like, he's not high enough.
I think that if they're going to have a machine that scans you for being high, there needs to be a machine that scans you for too much pharmaceutical drugs as well, and pick any one of those drugs that's just bad for you to take. And if you're going to test me for marijuana, you better test me for the whole gamut, because that's the only fair way to do it. If you're going to do marijuana only, which Mass General says they do it, well, okay, cool. But y'all been pushing a lot of other pills for a long time. Y'all got tests for them?
My question is, why don't they just ask? They probably just spend $1 billion on a machine where you could be like, man, you high? He'd be like, yeah, I'm high, man. Real high, man. Because I have confessed a couple of times. Let's not mention the state trooper.
No, I don't want to say there's professional smokers out there or anything like that. But there's a lot of people that can smoke marijuana and don't run off the rails. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying if you're a surgeon. Listen, if you're in any delicate job whatsoever, you probably shouldn't be smoking marijuana and working. Any job that outside of I don't know. There's a lot of jobs that you probably shouldn't smoke marijuana because it doesn't make any sense to.
Well, I've seen a lot of people complete extremely difficult tasks, even high.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I wouldn't. Surgery's not one of them because you might have to. You need memory surgery. I think a little bit of memory. In that moment, right? You know what I mean? It's easy to say you're right. You can't. Can you be a journalist and and smoke? Sure. You're not gonna write your whatever article until you sober up, whatever the case may be, type of thing.
So, what is your experience with getting high and trying to either input knowledge into your mind or recall something that you've already remembered, learned anyway?
Let's just say this: I'm not a surgeon. But as far as what I do for work and those things, if it's muscle memory, it's not a problem. I think for me, if I had to memorize something, I'm not going to do it while I'm stoned, right?
Okay.
If I had to study for something, I'm not going to do that while I'm stoned because it's going to take me longer, right? But if I'm cooking, if I'm driving, if I'm
operating heavy machinery.
Yeah, I wouldn't say heavy machinery. I'm not gonna pull out a chainsaw and go cut wood, stone, or drinking for that matter. You know what I mean? So it's like common sense stuff. So I to me, common sense stuff. So all I'm just saying is most people can probably function. And again, it depends on your job, on what you have to do. I mean, if you're catching knives, you may not want to be stoned or throwing knives.
Well, I can only speak for myself.
All right.
And
you can speak for other people too, E.
As you know, you know I don't like to drive high.
Yeah, no. Big E does not drive high.
It's just a personal thing. Not that I haven't or I don't, but I just don't like to.
If there's gas in the car, there's THC. But Big E
got that gas. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's not because I'm afraid I'm gonna do something. It's that I'm not gonna react in time, or these other people are just doing stupid stuff, putting the right blinker on and turning left. Right, idiot things.
Right. No, for sure. We have said this a lot of times on the show with cannabis, and I think with even alcohol, and I don't like to add alcohol in this, but you have to know yourself, right? You have to know what's comfortable for you to do to make the decisions that's going to keep you safe and keep other people safe. Big E doesn't like to drive and smoke, but other people don't mind driving and smoking, and if that works for them. But that's the part, and I probably most people probably shouldn't drive and smoke, but some people can.
I mean, I hate to drink and drive, but it's even harder to drink and walk. Man, it's terrible. So you get where I'm coming from.
So when you're behind the wheels, Big E, you're just driving.
From a seated position, I'm stable.
No,
now you ask me to walk and drive at the same time. That's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, absolutely right. So you're in favor for this testing, or do you think this test is not?
I think it's just some other tool that they got so they can railroad you.
Okay.
Because just if you're an avid smoker and your THC levels in your blood are always high, then they're just gonna be like, well,
yeah,
it's reading off the charts.
Right. No, yeah, and I do think some people can. I mean, you're not gonna smoke an ounce. Well, some people could probably smoke an ounce and drive, but most
those people who the main culprit is the edibles.
Right.
Yeah. Once those get you, you're not sure what you got till you get into it.
Yeah. No. Edibles are. If you consume too much edibles,
pull over and go to sleep. I've done it a couple times.
Sure, you can do that too. I was gonna say just put on a cruise control, but
cars on automatic pilot.
You don't have to worry about how fast or slow you're going. You just maintain the speed limit.
This is true.
But you're right. Pull over and go to sleep. Big E, as Big E say, or drink water. We haven't done that in a while. We haven't talked about things that will help you come down. We'll
Come down.
we'll pencil that into one of the future shows to bring that back up. There are definitely things you can do to help out.
I've been at the mountain. I've seen the peak. There's no turning back.
But I don't want to use it against. I don't want to compare alcohol, but obviously everything is subjective.
It's a roller coaster. And
To-
sometimes it's not over till the ride's over.
Yeah, but no, what I was gonna say is it's subjective. Like it affects are different for a lot of individuals.
This is true.
And you have to find and I don't know, you have to find what works for you in a safe environment. And you have to decide whatever environment is safe to you, but chances are you're probably better off to be not behind the wheels, not operating heavy machinery, not responsible for anything of importance. but figure out what works for you, because once you do that, I think you can do whatever you need to do. If you're the type of person that if you smoke too much or high THC levels and you end up in Debo's chicken coop, you already know once you hit Debo's chicken coop once, you know, right?
Yeah,
so you already know.
You can feel it coming in the air of the night.
You know what I mean? And so that's why it's kind of I like the concept of testing, but I think for the amount of different people that exist, I think it's going to affect each individual differently. And I don't know if there's an exact thing for that, because my THC level, Big East THC level, one, just generally smoking, like, you know, all the time, but two, you know, biology, right? Because, you know, if you end up in Debo's chicken coop, you just don't have that you don't have it in you, son. You know, so
Look, everything has levels.
yeah.
And you could already be at a level when unknowingly eating a brownie or a Tootsie Roll and pushes you past the peak. But the same thing we started with, know what you're dealing with first.
Right.
Gotta know. I've popped some stuff and it took a while, and I was like, oh man, it didn't work. Next thing you know, I'm afraid to start the car. Like, I'm just gonna sit here. And people, please stop calling the police. That is not a good idea.
No.
Take it from me. It is not a good idea. So if you made some brownies off of some weed you took from your kids and you're losing it, call the Smokin' Rhyme Show.
Right.
Monday nights between 10 and 12, and we'll talk you down off the ledge.
No doubt. And you know, and I don't like to use other things to validate what I was saying, but I will say, you know, national syndicated show have had, you know, people on talking about cannabis, and there was one caller that called in who was a mom and wanted to feel comfortable talking about smoking while taking care of their kids, and for them it helped them deal with their kids, because there's a stigmatism, like, oh well, you know, it's wrong to be high taking care of your kids. You know, that's not the case. Sometimes you got to be high to take care of your kids. And I say high in the sense of cannabis. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not saying cocaine, heroin, or none of that, right? You know, just like you can have a glass of a wine or a drink and
Get a glass of weed
and deal with it. No different, right? Obviously, but again, if you know you've had, you know, 10 joints, you're gonna be passed out. Well, don't smoke 10.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? If you know one is your chill mode, then you know, you like obviously do what makes sense, because at the end of the day, you don't want something to happen on your watch. That's my motto. I don't want it to happen on my watch.
If you're with the kids, you know not to do the 32% THC.
Yeah.
The 17 will suffice.
Exactly. Like, just common and common sense will kick in with marijuana.
That's like with the kids, you have a couple of beers. You don't turn up with the shots and all the other stuff. You know, you watch the
about
kids,
I'm getting anyway.
taking this bottle to the face.
No, none of that.
Yeah. Just
so
be a smart adult, please.
Yeah, definitely, and it's comfortable. I think, in other countries.
I think it's comfortable.
No, it's comfortable in other countries in places where, you know, people do things responsible, and so there's a responsible element when it comes to a lot of things in life. But in this case, cannabis.
Ireland used to have a rule that you can't drink until you're 18. But if you come in the pub at the age of 16 and order some food, they'll allow you to drink one beer with that meal.
Okay.
So the kids used to go in there, drink the beer, and throw the food out.
Oh.
But, you know what I'm saying? You can't just all of a sudden tell somebody, you're old enough now, go do this.
Right.
Give them some training.
Right. Listen to the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is X45.
Big E.
Everybody's going to be saying Big E that we told that they can smoke while taking care of their kids. And if they
I'm
can,
co-signing that.
if they,
You can smoke.
if
while you
if they're 18, they can have a joint.
You can smoke. I guarantee it. I mean, I might smoke outside and come back in the house. I don't smoke in front of them, but definitely. You know, when he bumps his head, it makes it a lot easier for you to watch him cry. You might even giggle a little bit.
I will say this. You should not smoke marijuana if you're under the age of 25.
25?
Yeah, I will leave it there.
That's big. 25?
25,
21, 22?
Like keeping it 100%, like, young people should not be smoking marijuana because there's not enough, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but it's one of those things where we don't have enough information about cannabis and the effects on the undeveloped mind. And and I say 25 because it's a little extreme, but it's probably 23 where some people's minds are fully developed, but maybe not all. So I give it a little range, but we don't know the effects of that yet. So I can't just sit here and say young people should take cannabis because we don't have if this thing was federally legal and we can actually have robust research on cannabis, we'll be able to answer so many much more questions.
I believe you are correct, sir. I believe you are correct. But in the meantime, it's all right. Go ahead and smoke on with the kids. I ain't worried about it.
All right, you listen to the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
Big E.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry,
music, and that cannabis talk.
Big E, it's time for us to say goodnight, man.
Yeah, well,
We want to thank all the sponsors, Woodcraft, Hindle Exhaust, definitely get that, Vortex, Healing Hand Massage, HY Boston, get your HY clothing. Check us out on Spotify, iHeart Radio, Apple, Soundcloud. Check us out on YouTube. Shout out to all of us, all the folks that tuned into Twitch.
keep your eyes open for that Solid Love Tour. Beres Hammond coming Friday, August 19th.
No doubt.
Make sure you get your tickets there.
All right. And we'll be back next week.
Yes, we were. AKA, I'm out.